Okay. Okay. Very good evening, everyone. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Very good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me on this talk. And since the topic was, and the general topic for the conference was Gen AI. So I personally, being from automotive industry, I didn't choose a self-driving car or maybe some topic you might be thinking like if it's an automotive guy from Jaguar and Rover, he must be talking about self-driving car or anything, stuff like that. So I choose a bit new topic, but something that is very relevant to our life nowadays, I believe. So if I can get a quick raise hand, how many of you are have used ChatGPT? Yeah, see, that's the topic we have. What's inside that? Okay, let's get started. What's inside ChatGPT? Let's try to understand. Now, before we start with talking about more inside the ChatGPT, its working, technical aspects, LLMs, and all these stuff, I would like to give you an introduction of how basically this evolution of ChatGPT, this beautiful generative AI tools started. So it was back then when ESA was established by MIT researchers and named Joseph. And ESA was a very simple program. It takes inputs just like a normal rule-based program it used to work. It takes help from pattern recognition and simulate human interaction-based system. But it was by far the best LLMs we are yet to discover because it was late 1960s. Then, then you can see LSTM comes into the picture. I think most of you might also know about LSTM and the full form of LSTM, that is long short-term memory. The LSTM discovered in 1997, they were allowed for the creation of more deeper, more complex neural networks that we will use in the coming future. Like from 1967, not now from the coming future, but yeah, from 1967, what we will, 1997, we'll be using. So you can say it was a breaking point for us. Like some of the LLMs still use LSTM, and you might have used LSTM, but you might not have seen that often. Okay, then the time passes, there was research going on and everything was building. Then comes the 2010, where Stanford's core NLP suite was discovered and it was introduced to the world. It provided a complete new set of tools and algorithm that helped researchers tackle complex NLP problems. For anyone who don't know, NLP, natural language processing, it is, and it provided a more advancement in NLP and sector, especially the two sectors which I'm very interested in, sentiment analysis and entity recognition. Now, just to give you the context of sentiment analysis, although I'll have a complete slide for that as well. But sentiment analysis is something, for example, we have a number of tweets, right? You have a number of tweets. Every day, thousands of tweets are there. And if you want to basically check what is the sentiment around maybe a political agenda, maybe something that the government has ruled out or any organization has ruled out, what is the sentiments of the people? Okay, you can do sentiment analysis. Okay, so that's what sentiment analysis is, and the Stanford's core NLP suite helped in that. Then in 2011, it was Google Brain that was launched, and it provides researchers with access to very powerful computing resources and data sets. Google Brain basically paved the way for massive advancement in this field, such as introduction of the transformers for the first time, transformer models in 2017 it was then. Now you can see all the GPTs that we have seen from 2010 and till now, GPT-1, 2, 3 and GPT-4 now. I have GPT-4 installed in my mobile as an app as well. So we have come a long way, and all these are based out of the architecture, that is the transformer architecture. And so it was back then which was discovered, and now we are here. And literally you can't imagine the power. If you have anyone who use GPT-4, by the way, anyone GPT-4? Yeah, some you can see, because it's a paid version. I understand it's a paid version, and it will get more access to the technology in the coming future, and on a more cheaper way as well. So GPT-4 can do enormous amount of things. Okay, you can just give it a JSON file, for example, and you can help, and you can just give it an image, and it will exactly paste the object detection on the image itself. So it can do wonders. If you have not experienced GPT-4 in this technical aspect, I'll suggest you to at least buy or at least go for GPT-4 once, or try it with your friends or anyone, and you can see the enormous power of these architectures now. So that was 2017, the GPT, the generative pre-trained transformer, which served as a foundation for all the Chatgpts and incredible AI-driven applications. Now, in these recent years, the solutions such as Hugging Face and the Bard has also contributed significantly in the advancement of LLMs. Okay, moving on. Let's try to understand what different types of LLMs we have. Okay, so you can see on the slide very clearly that there are broadly the LLMs are classified into 3 types: the pre-trained one, then we have multimodal, and the fine-tuned one. So let's try to understand the difference between them. So the pre-trained one, you can see some examples on the screen, that is T5, GPT-3, and XLNet. So they are basically trained on a large amount of data. Okay, allowing them to learn from a wide range of languages and patterns and structures. Okay, they are more sophisticated on the grammar side. They are more understanding the context between the 2 words that are present in the sentence. Okay, not considering them as different entities. Okay, and they are used as a starting point for further training and fine-tuning for specific tasks. These were the pre-trained models, GPT-3, GPT-4, and further advancement that will be there. Then there were multimodal that can come into the picture. Few examples to give them for Clip and DALL-E. And so as the name suggests, multimodal. Okay, so there is the multi. So you can imagine it like they combine the text with other modularities. For example, images and videos, to create more robust language models. Okay, it was not focused only on the text part or any particular modularities. They were more on the combining side of the modularities. Now these model kind of understand the relationships between the images and the text. They not only focus on images or text combined relationship between them, and they even generate images from the textual description. Okay, if you have used any of these tools, you would have experienced that. Then a very interesting model, the third type, one of my favorites, that is fine-tuning models. So they are very simple. They are basically pre-trained. They take the best part from both of them. They are pre-trained on the very large data set, but they are fine-tuned on a very smaller data set. Okay, and that too for a very specific task. Okay, now they are generally used, they are highly specific and for a particular task. So in the industry, industry use them for the specific task, not in general. Now each of these, having said all these things about the different types of LLM tools, each of them comes with a unique weakness, a unique strong point. And they, like the industry uses as per their specific requirement, as per the use cases we have. Okay, moving on. Now I will tell you about the applications of LLM. Although since we all are using LLMs, so I don't have to tell you about some of the applications that we all use. That is textual content creation that you can see on the second part. But there are some other applications as well that industry and people like more of my kind use from these LLM tools. So the LLMs have shown an impressive results in the conversational AI aspect. So conversational AI is like when you try to converse with someone, let's say some human, okay, how a human respond in a way. The conversational AI is kind of that kind of concept where the AI converse to you in a similar kind of fashion. Now they can generate responses that are not only the contextually correct, but they are more on the grammatical side, and they understand the coherence of the dialogues as well. I'll tell you one very interesting thing, and that's why I've kept my laptop here, because I very less remember the data. So a study that was conducted by Google researchers in 2020 found that their LLM, that is Mina, outperform all other dialogue agents in human evaluation by a score of whooping 79%, while the next biggest agent had a score of only 56%, sorry. Now the Mina was basically trained with 2.6 billion parameters on a massive 341 GB data set. I don't know how they have done that, but because that requires a lot of computing power. That too of the social media conversations, and these topics are very engaging and on a variety of range of topics. Now, talking about the textual content creation that we all generally do in our day-to-day life, that LLMs have been completely very proven to be useful, and in terms of creative text generation, what I call it. Maybe you can say news article writing, description, creative writing, and all that stuff. GPT-3, for example, GPT 3.5 now and GPT-4 here as well, have a great, enormous power for this creative generation, creative text generation. And so yeah, the textual content generation will come on a long way, and I think the content creation side is more on the risky because these LLM tools are getting more into the content creation. So yeah, we have to keep that in mind. And yeah, so then I come on the third point, that is understanding the sentiments within the text. Now here, this is a very important term, and this is all we human try to do. Like when someone says, when I write something, when you write someone a WhatsApp on WhatsApp, the other person try to grasp the sentiments out of it, right? When we write to him, but we say that we are not that rude, okay, or we doesn't mean that what we are writing, okay, because maybe there are no emojis there or something else, right? But the generative tools are very peculiar about that. So that's what sentiment analysis is, understanding of the sentiments of the text. Now, in 2020, you will be shocked to know that OpenAI basically tested GPT-3 on a data set of tweets related to COVID-19 and pandemic, and the model was able to accurately identify the sentiments of each tweet it has been tested on, whether it was positive, negative, and neutral. So it like completely divides them into three parts: positive, negative, neutral. Now, why this sentiment analysis is very important? Simply because the fact it can help public sector companies. It can help health sector to understand what exactly people think about their decisions, what exactly the decisions they have made, how it impacts the people, how they are impacting, and how people are reacting towards it. So they basically try to understand the sentiments of the complete public. So that's why it was very important. Then the last part, that is efficient machine translation. A very good example I'll take here. So you must, how many of you have used Google Translate in your life till now, right? Many of you have done that. So that's the fourth application, that is efficient machine translation. The traditional approach, if you understand or if you try to read about it, the traditional approach of to machine translation was it involves a rule-based kind of system where if you if you ask a particular thing, you will get a particular thing. It's more of like that. But these LLMs have transformed that completely. And I'll give you a very good example of my personal example. When I shifted to Bangalore, it was a few years back. I was new to Kannada, right? Like some of us are, and I was not able to read. I went to a local area, and I was not able to read what was written on the board. I was not able to figure out the shops, what exactly shop means, and no signboards, anything. So it was very difficult. And one of my friend recently purchased a property, and the papers were all in Kannada. If you buy a property in Bangalore, you can see the papers are all in Kannada. So in order to translate them, we both were literally standing there and using a Google Translate to like take the screenshot of it and then translate it to English and then understand what exactly the paper are that he is going to sign. So it's very difficult, and and it is shocking to see how these LLM tools have transformed our life, and we sometimes don't really appreciate that. But Google has been using these neutral machine translation, that is NMT, that is powered by LLMs since 2016. And Google Translate system has proven to be remarkably efficient, and since we all have used that and we know this its capability, and this the human quality translation for over these 100 languages is like record breaking. Now let's move on to something. Let me try to bore you with talking more on the technical side, that is working of these LLM tools, how they work. So GPTs have transformed the way people communicate with machines. Okay, not only our lives, the way we translate with machines. I was there in the session with Vishwanath Anand, and listening to him, like how he take this example, like you can literally talk to the machine right now, and in the way, like when in the morning I start asking Chatgpt something, so I just say, hey GPT, so he say, okay, hey Abhishek, what you want the help from me. You can talk to him like anything. So you can see on the screen that's the data that we put into the structured data, maybe in the form of text, voice, 3D signals, images, and all that stuff. Now in GPT-4, if you put the data in the form of images, it can very clearly identify the objects. I was also very shocked to know what type of object detection, what type of model they were using behind that. So once when I was new to GPT, when I was getting a lot of news, and I was not initially a bit reluctant towards GPT and using these tools, because I was thinking like, okay, this is another some kind of boom, or this is another small boom that has come up. But when I sincerely use that tool, the initial excitement is over within 1 day or two. Okay, maximum a day or two, you will play with ChatGPT, and then it's all about the use case you have. If you have a serious use case for ChatGPT or using any of the LLM tools, you will use it for till now. Otherwise, you will leave it. So once that excitement was over, my next task was to understand how exactly the ChatGPT works, how exactly these LLM tools work, and that started my research, and how exactly it interacts with the human and us. Okay, so during the learning stage, not me, for the ChatGPT, an ML model was trained to analyze text and rewarded for each correct answer. Okay, it gives. Additionally, a self-attention function mechanism are integrated in the system that improves the effectiveness of the learning process. Now, these language models, to be more technical, these are typically trained using next token prediction system. And this technique involves predicting the next word in the sequence, okay, using long short-term memory, that is LSTM, neural network and masked language modeling, stuff like that. A bit fancy stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let me not bore you with this. Okay, the next topic we will see is self-attention, the term that I just said in the previous slide. So I'll wrap up this quickly. Because I can see the time is going. So the OpenAI basically first introduced the first generative pre-trained transformer GPT-1 back in 2018, Then there was GPT-2 2019, then there was GPT-3 in 2020, and here we are GPT-4, ChatGPT in 2022. So the most significant advancement in GPT involves the before integrating human feedback. Okay, that was more important for the advancement and enhancements in computational efficiency to consider. Now all these ChatGPT and GPT models use the transformer architecture. Okay, and with an encoder for the processing, you can see on the left hand side there is an encoder for processing the input, and then there is a decoder for generating the output in various formats and with various application use cases. Now the self-attention mechanism in GPT convert text pieces that are tokens into vector representing their significance in the input sequence. Sorry, I'll take some of the time. Now how ChatGPT was improved, it was incorporating the human feedback. To be very short, it was introduced into the training process. Once it is there, it has been extended. It also uses a term called reinforcement learning from human feedback. You can search and you can ChatGPT basically this particular term and you will get the idea for that. Okay, so quickly moving on. Yeah, reward system is something that has paid a lot of support in the last final phase. There was reinforcement learning that comes into the picture, where you can see the second step, that was reward, is there, and some random props were there, and then the reward system where before the training part, and then you can see the result that we get, that we have, everyone see on the mobile phone. Okay, so the last topic. Believe me, this is the last topic that I am covering. A test data set previously encountered by the model was set aside, and the evaluation criteria, you can see the varsity, usefulness and harmlessness were taken into the picture to basically understand how these GPT tools need to be evaluated in the real life. So yeah, that was all I needed to cover. Thank you for listening me, and yes, I'm open for the questions.